Hello, and welcome to this episode of English 101, your go-to podcast for mastering English through fascinating real-world topics. Today's episode is called The History of Time, From Sundials to Atomic Clocks. Have you ever asked yourself, how did humans begin measuring time? Who decided how to divide time so precisely that even a second never slips? In this podcast, you'll discover how early civilizations tracked time using the sun and stars, how mechanical clocks revolutionized daily life, and how atomic clocks brought us to the peak of timekeeping accuracy. Let's take an educational journey through history. One tick at a time. Part 1. The Origins of Timekeeping. How ancient civilizations measured time. Since the dawn of civilization, human beings have been fascinated by the passage of time. Long before the invention of clocks, ancient people observed natural patterns to make sense of day and night, the changing of seasons, and the cycles of the moon. They realized that the sun rises and sets in a predictable way, and that this pattern could be used to organize daily activities. The earliest form of timekeeping was likely simply watching shadows on the ground. This basic observation led to the creation of the sundial, one of the first timekeeping devices known to history. Sundials were simple yet effective tools that used the position of the sun's shadow to mark different times of the day. The ancient Egyptians are believed to have developed sundials as early as 1500 BCE. They divided daylight into 12 hours, but these hours varied in length depending on the season. At night, the Egyptians and Babylonians used the stars to measure time. They created star charts and observed how constellations moved across the sky. The Babylonians also introduced a mathematical system based on the number 60. This is why today we have 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in an hour. In ancient China, people used water clocks, known as clepsydras. These were containers that dripped water at a steady rate to measure the passage of time. Water clocks were more reliable than sundials at night or on cloudy days. In India, ancient scholars also used water clocks and sundials for both daily life and religious rituals. In the Islamic world, timekeeping became extremely important for determining prayer times. Muslim scholars invented highly accurate astrolabes and mechanical timekeeping devices. In Central and South America, the Mayans developed complex calendars based on the movement of the sun, moon, and planets. They created one of the most sophisticated ancient time systems in the world. The Roman Empire standardized time across its territories using sundials and public time announcements. However, most of these early timekeeping methods were based on observation and nature, not machines. That would change dramatically during the Middle Ages. In medieval Europe, the need to regulate monastic prayers led to the development of more accurate timekeeping devices. Monks wanted to pray at exact times during the day and night. This spiritual discipline inspired the creation of the first mechanical clocks in the 13th century. These clocks used gears, weights, and escapements to control movement. They were large and usually installed in church towers for public use. People began to rely less on the sun and more on machines to tell time. Still, these early mechanical clocks were not very accurate. Some would gain or lose several minutes each day. But the invention of the escapement mechanism was a breakthrough in clockmaking. It helped regulate the motion of gears more precisely. Time began to be measured in hours, and eventually, in minutes. With each passing century, clockmakers refined their designs. By the 14th and 15th centuries, mechanical clocks were becoming more common in European towns. Clocks were symbols of prestige and innovation. Noble families and rich merchants displayed them as a sign of wealth. But even with these developments, most people still lived by the natural rhythms of sunrise and sunset. The idea of scheduling every part of the day was not yet fully adopted. The invention of the pendulum clock in the 17th century would change that forever. Time was about to become even more accurate, more scientific, and more central to everyday life. But it all started with humans simply looking at the sky and wondering, "What time is it?" This curiosity turned into centuries of exploration and invention. And as civilizations traded knowledge, they also shared timekeeping techniques. So the next time you glance at your watch or phone, remember, you're looking at the result of thousands of years of human observation and innovation. From the shadows of the sun to the flow of water, ancient people laid the foundation of what we now call time. Their early efforts to measure time were not perfect, but they were remarkably clever. Each culture contributed something unique to our understanding of time. And together, they moved us one step closer to the precise clocks we use today. The history of timekeeping is not just about machines. It's about how humans tried to bring order to the chaos of the natural world. In the next part, we'll explore the rise of mechanical clocks and how time became central to work, science, and daily life. So stay tuned. The journey through time is just beginning. Part 2. The Age of Mechanical Clocks. Precision, Power, and the Rhythm of Daily Life. As the Middle Ages gave way to the Renaissance, mechanical clocks continued to evolve across Europe. In cities like Milan, Paris, and London, clockmakers became master craftsmen and symbols of urban pride. Large tower clocks began appearing in public squares, often adorned with elaborate carvings and figures. These clocks not only told time, they told stories of human progress, invention, and ambition. The most revolutionary improvement came in the 17th century with the invention of the pendulum clock by Dutch scientist Christian Huygens. Pendulum clocks were significantly more accurate than earlier mechanical designs. Huygens' clock reduced daily error from 15 minutes to less than 15 seconds. This breakthrough changed the way people structured their lives. Time was no longer just for monks or kings. It was for workers, merchants, and sailors. Precise timekeeping became crucial for navigation at sea. Without accurate clocks, sailors could not determine longitude, leading to dangerous errors. To solve this, the British government offered a prize in the 18th century, the Longitude Act of 1714. Clockmaker John Harrison accepted the challenge and created the marine chronometer. His invention allowed ships to travel with unprecedented accuracy and safety. At the same time, life in cities began to change dramatically. As factories replaced farms, people started living by the clock instead of the sun. The Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th centuries created a new relationship with time. Factory work required workers to arrive at exact hours and follow strict schedules. Trains, too, depended on synchronized time to avoid accidents and ensure reliability. This led to the creation of standard time zones in the 19th century. Before time zones, each town had its own local time based on the sun's position. This system became chaotic as travel and communication expanded. In 1884, at the International Meridian Conference, Greenwich, England was chosen as the prime meridian. This decision established the global time system we use today. Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. By now, clocks had become smaller and more personal. Pocket watches became popular among gentlemen, while women wore pendant watches. The invention of the spring-driven mechanism allowed clocks to be portable and fashionable. Soon, watches became essential tools, not just accessories. In the 20th century, wristwatches became widespread, especially during World War I. Soldiers found wristwatches more convenient in the trenches than pocket watches. After the war, the public adopted them, and wristwatches became the standard. But even with these mechanical marvels, there was still room for improvement. The next leap in accuracy came not from gears and springs, but from electricity. The quartz revolution began in the 1920s and reshaped the clock industry. Quartz clocks use the vibration of a tiny crystal to keep perfect time. They are cheaper, more reliable, and far more accurate than mechanical clocks. By the 1970s, quartz technology had taken over the market. Wristwatches became digital, and the world got used to blinking numbers and alarm beeps. Timekeeping was now accessible, affordable, and precise for everyone. And yet, researchers still wanted better. The quest for absolute accuracy led scientists to study the tiniest particles of the universe. They discovered that atoms could vibrate at incredibly consistent frequencies. This discovery paved the way for the invention of the atomic clock. In 1949, the first atomic clock was built in the United States. It was based on the ammonia molecule, and later, on the cesium atom. Cesium-based atomic clocks are so accurate they lose only 1 second every 100 million years. This level of precision allowed the creation of Coordinated Universal Time, UTC. UTC is the standard by which the world regulates clocks and time. Today, GPS satellites rely on atomic clocks to provide accurate positioning. Every smartphone, airplane, and internet server is synchronized using atomic time. We've come a long way from sundials and dripping water bowls, but the principle remains the same: to divide the day into equal, predictable units. And now, instead of using shadows or gears, we use atoms. The human journey of timekeeping is a story of science, necessity, and imagination. It reflects our desire to bring order to our lives and understand the universe. Time has become a global language, understood across cultures and continents. From calling a friend to launching a rocket, precise time makes it all possible. And yet, even with our most advanced clocks, we still measure time for very human reasons: to wake up, to work, to meet loved ones, and to remember our history. The history of timekeeping is not just about machines, it's about people. People who looked to the sky, listened to the tick of gears, and dreamed of perfection. In the next part of our podcast, we'll explore how modern time affects our psychology, productivity, and culture. We'll ask questions like, does living by the clock help or hurt us? Stay tuned as we continue our journey through the seconds, minutes, and hours that shape our world. Part 3. Time in the Modern World. How living by the clock shapes our lives. In today's modern world, we live by the clock more than ever before. From the moment we wake up to the moment we sleep, our lives are structured around time. Alarms ring to start our day, meetings are scheduled to the minute, and deadlines drive our productivity. But have you ever stopped to ask, how does this constant awareness of time affect us? Modern society's relationship with time is both empowering and stressful. On one hand, precise timekeeping allows us to plan, coordinate, and achieve incredible things. We can schedule international video calls, catch trains that run to the second, and launch satellites into orbit. But on the other hand, time pressure can make us anxious, rushed, and overwhelmed. In psychology, there's a term called time poverty, the feeling of never having enough time. People today often feel busier than ever, even with time-saving technology. Ironically, the more efficient our tools become, the more we try to fit into each day. The clock, once a symbol of innovation, has become a symbol of pressure for many. Still, not all cultures treat time the same way. In some countries, punctuality is everything. Being late is seen as disrespectful. In others, time is more flexible, and being late is considered normal or even polite. These differences in time culture affect how people work, socialize, and do business. For example, in Germany or Japan, schedules are strict and time is closely managed. In contrast, countries like Brazil or Italy often allow for a more relaxed approach to time. Understanding these cultural differences is key to international communication. Despite these differences, globalization has pushed much of the world towards strict timekeeping. Digital clocks are now everywhere, on our phones, our cars, our kitchen appliances. We check the time dozens of times each day, often without realizing it. Apps track our screen time, sleep time, and productivity hours. The quantified self movement encourages us to measure every second. But this obsession with time can lead to burnout and fatigue. Some people now choose to disconnect from the clock to reduce stress. They practice mindfulness, spend time in nature, or follow natural rhythms instead of digital ones. Others take digital detox weekends to reset their internal clocks. The concept of slow living has become popular, a lifestyle that values quality over speed. It encourages people to eat slowly, walk slowly, and live in the moment. This movement reminds us that time is not just something to measure, it's something to experience. In education, time also plays a powerful role. School schedules, exam durations, and academic calendars all revolve around the clock. Yet research shows that people learn best when they feel relaxed and unhurried. Flexible learning environments that respect each person's natural rhythm are becoming more common. In the workplace, time management has become a vital skill. Employees are taught how to prioritize tasks, avoid procrastination, and meet deadlines. But many experts now say it's not about managing time. It's about managing energy. High productivity doesn't come from working non-stop, but from balancing focus with rest. Organizations now explore 4-day work weeks and flexible hours to improve efficiency and well-being. In medicine, time is also crucial. Doctors measure heartbeats in beats per minute and calculate medication intervals by the hour. Surgical procedures are timed down to the second. Even our biological functions, like hunger, sleep, and hormone release, follow circadian rhythms. These 24-hour cycles are controlled by our brain and synchronized with daylight. Disrupting these rhythms, like with jet lag or night shifts, can harm our health. So even though time is invisible, its effects are very real. It influences our mind, body, and relationships every day. Technology continues to push time to new limits. With internet time, blockchain timestamps, and real-time AI responses, the world is moving faster than ever. But the faster we move, the more important it becomes to pause and reflect. Because time is not just about productivity, it's about meaning. Every moment we spend is a choice, and every minute shapes our life story. In literature and art, time is often used as a symbol. Writers explore time travel, lost time, and the value of living in the present. From Shakespeare to science fiction, time has been a timeless theme. In religion and philosophy, time raises profound questions. Is time an illusion? Does time have a beginning and end? Some traditions see time as linear, a straight path from birth to death. Others see it as cyclical, a circle of rebirth and renewal. No matter how we define it, one truth remains. Time is precious. We cannot see it or touch it, but we all feel it, in every heartbeat, every sunrise, every goodbye. And although we now measure it with atomic clocks and digital devices, time still carries deep human meaning. In the final part of this podcast, we'll look at the future of time. How will we measure time in the next century? Will we ever escape the limits of time? Stay with us. The final chapter is coming next. Part 4. The Future of Time, From Atomic Seconds to Interstellar Timekeeping. As we look to the future, the concept of time continues to evolve. Scientists are exploring new ways to measure time that go beyond even atomic precision. One major development is the optical lattice clock, which uses lasers and atoms of strontium. These clocks are even more accurate than cesium-based atomic clocks. They lose only 1 second in over 15 billion years. This level of accuracy could redefine how we think about time and how we organize the world. Optical clocks may soon replace current time standards like UTC. They can detect incredibly small changes in gravity and even help predict earthquakes. Time is no longer just about keeping schedule. It's becoming a tool for scientific discovery. Another area of development is space-based timekeeping. As we send more spacecraft and satellites into deep space, we need clocks that work outside Earth's atmosphere. NASA and other space agencies are testing atomic clocks on satellites to guide space missions. These clocks help spacecraft navigate without relying on signals from Earth. In the future, missions to Mars or beyond may depend on independent time systems. This could lead to the creation of Martian time, based on the rotation and orbit of Mars. Astronauts may one day live by a clock that has 24 hours and 39 minutes, the length of a Martian day. As we expand into the cosmos, our definition of time must expand with us. Meanwhile, back on Earth, technology is changing how humans experience time. Augmented reality, artificial intelligence, and real-time data are reshaping our sense of the present. We can receive information instantly, connect across time zones, and simulate the future. With AI, we can forecast weather, stock markets, and even language trends with incredible precision. These tools allow us to see time in ways our ancestors never imagined. But they also raise important questions. Will we ever become too obsessed with speed and efficiency? Can we slow down in a world that never sleeps? The future of time is not just about clocks. It's about human choices. We must decide how we want to live with time, not just measure it. Educators are rethinking how time is used in classrooms. Should students all follow the same schedule or learn at their own pace? In the workplace, flexible hours and asynchronous collaboration are becoming normal. Some companies have even stopped tracking hours entirely, focusing on outcomes instead. This approach respects individual energy cycles and promotes well-being. In healthcare, time is being reimagined through biological clocks. Genetic studies help us understand each person's natural sleep-wake cycle. Medicine may one day be timed precisely for when your body needs it most. This idea is called chronomedicine, and it's already showing promise. In personal life, people are rediscovering ancient ways to honor time. Practices like meditation, journaling, and rituals bring us back to the present moment. They remind us that time is not just minutes ticking by. It's the quality of our attention. In philosophy, the future of time is still a great mystery. Some physicists argue that time may not be fundamental to the universe. In theories of quantum gravity, time could be an illusion, a construct of the human mind. Others believe time is woven into the fabric of space itself. The theory of relativity shows that time is relative to motion and gravity. This means time can slow down or speed up depending on your location and velocity. A clock on a mountain ticks faster than one at sea level. A clock on a spaceship ages slower than one on Earth. These are not just ideas. They've been tested and proven by scientists. In this strange new understanding, time is more flexible than we ever thought. Yet, for us as individuals, time still feels very personal. We celebrate birthdays, mark anniversaries, and count down to New Year's Eve. We measure our lives in seasons, school years, and life stages. The future may bring new tools, new discoveries, and even new time systems. But what we do with time, how we spend it, will always matter most. Will we use time to grow, learn, connect, and create? Will we use it to build peace, share knowledge, and care for others? Time offers us opportunity, but never guarantees. Every minute is a gift. Once it passes, it cannot be recovered. So as we look to the future, let's not forget the power of the present moment. Let's balance ambition with reflection, technology with humanity. Let's teach the next generation not just to measure time, but to value it. Because in the end, it's not the number of hours that define our lives. It's the meaning we create within them. And maybe, just maybe, the best use of time is to be truly present. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the past, present, and future of time. I hope it gave you both knowledge and inspiration to make every second count. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of English 101. If you enjoyed learning about the fascinating history and future of time, Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. New educational episodes drop every week to help you improve your English and expand your knowledge of the world. Share this podcast with friends who love history, science, and language learning. And remember, every minute you spend learning brings you one step closer to fluency. See you in the next episode, and until then, use your time wisely.